What if I told you there's a pattern, one that's been playing out for 4,000 years, that shows exactly what kind of wealth survives a total economic collapse and what kind just turns to dust? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that pattern. Because what history shows us, again and again, is that survival isn't about being lucky. It's about what you're holding when the entire system breaks.
Okay, so to really get this, let's go back in time. Picture this. It's 1923, and we're in Germany. The country is in the grip of one of the most famous hyperinflations in history. We're going to follow the story of two men, both facing the exact same disaster, but their stories end in completely opposite ways.
So, on one side, you've got a banker. This guy's a pillar of his community. He did everything right. His money was in all the safe places, government bonds, a guaranteed pension, a fat savings account full of German marks. And on the other side, a simple farmer. No fancy financial assets, just real stuff, productive land and the wheat that he grew on it. Well, for the banker, the outcome was an absolute catastrophe. The very assets that were supposed to be his rock-solid foundation became completely worthless. His entire life's savings just evaporated. He literally watched 30 years of hard work become worth less than a single cup of coffee. Can you even imagine that? But here's the kicker. The farmer, the one with just dirt and bags of grain, he became richer than he had ever dreamed. People were trading their family heirlooms, their pianos, anything just for his food. So the takeaway here is massive. What separated these two guys wasn't smarts or timing. It was the fundamental nature of the stuff they owned. And look, if you think this is just some dusty old story that could never happen now, think about this. Since the Federal Reserve was created back in 1913, the US dollar has lost over 96% of its purchasing power. Now, it's not a sudden collapse, right? It's been a slow, steady erosion. But the historical pattern is undeniable. No paper currency lasts forever. Which, of course, brings us to the big question, the whole reason we're here. If paper assets are so fragile, then what actually survives? What are the things that have proven time and time again across thousands of years of human history to hold their value when money itself dies? Well, let's break them down one by one. First up, the oldest and maybe the most fundamental crisis-proof asset of all, land. But wait, not just any patch of dirt. We are talking specifically about productive land. So what does that actually mean? It means land that produces stuff people absolutely need to live: food, water, energy, minerals. Its value has nothing to do with what a government says a dollar is worth. A bushel of wheat feeds a family, period. That independence from the official monetary system, that's its superpower. And get this for an example of that power in action. There are historical records showing that during that German hyperinflation, farmers basically became the new royalty. A guy could literally trade one pig for a grand piano, a piano that a banker might have saved for months to buy. That's what happens when you hold something real and everyone else is holding worthless paper. Okay, on to our second asset. And this is the one humanity has turned to as its default money for millennia: gold. And listen, this isn't about some wild conspiracy theory. It's just about predictable human behavior when things fall apart. You see, when people lose faith in their government's currency, they don't just give up. They immediately look for something else to trust. And history shows that time and time again, they run to gold. Why? It's simple. You can't just print more of it. We saw it during the French Revolution when people dumped their paper money for gold. We saw it in Argentina in the 80s, Russia in the 90s, and just recently in Venezuela. The places and times change, but the pattern is exactly the same. Now, this is the most important thing to understand about gold. It's not really an investment you buy hoping to get rich. It's defense. It's basically an insurance policy that keeps you financially afloat when everyone else holding paper assets is going under. All right, let's move on. We're going to group the next three assets together. They're a bit more modern, but they all operate on the exact same ancient principle of holding real adaptable value. Asset number 3 is a very specific type of business, one that has pricing power. Think about it. If your business sells luxury cars, you're in deep trouble when a crisis hits. But if you sell stuff people can't live without, food, electricity, medicine, you're going to be fine. And here's the key. You can raise your prices every single day or even every hour to keep pace with inflation. That's what allows you to survive while other businesses get crushed. Next up, asset number 4, holding money in a stable foreign currency. This is the classic playbook for the wealthy in any country facing a crisis. I mean, look at Latin America. The rich families who had US dollar accounts in Miami were totally insulated. Meanwhile, the middle class who responsibly saved in the local currency got completely wiped out. This is exactly why governments hit the panic button and impose capital controls to try and trap everyone's money inside their failing system. And that brings us to asset number 5, real estate. The reason this works is so simple, but so powerful. You just can't print an apartment building. It's a real, physical thing made of concrete and steel, and it fills a basic human need for shelter. During a hyperinflation, the paper mortgage you owe might inflate away to nothing, but that physical building is still standing, still providing shelter, and still generating value. All right, we've arrived at our 6th and final asset, and this is the one that almost everybody overlooks. But it might just be the most powerful of all, because it's something you don't have to buy. You build it. We are talking about your skills, specifically essential practical skills. See, when the currency breaks, the economy doesn't just stop. It just gets more direct, a lot closer to a barter system. And in that world, the person who can actually fix a car or wire a house or set a broken bone has incredible power. They can trade their service directly for the real things they need. And what's so amazing about this asset, it requires zero capital to start. It can't be stolen from you, it can't be taxed, and it can't be inflated away. It's the one form of wealth you carry around inside your own head. So let's pull all this together. What does this massive 4,000-year history lesson really teach us? Well, it reveals this incredibly clear, unchanging pattern of what makes it through a storm and what sinks. So let's recap the 6 survivors. You have productive land, gold, businesses that can actually raise their prices, stable foreign currency, real estate, and finally, your own essential skills. You notice the theme here, right? They all have value that exists outside of what a government says it's worth. And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the contrast. The very things our modern financial world calls safe, your savings account, government bonds, your pension, are the exact things that get vaporized in every single major currency crisis. But what history has proven to be safe are the tangible, real, adaptable assets we just walked through. And all of this leads to a pretty uncomfortable but totally essential truth. We live our lives thinking that stable money is normal. History shows us it's not. It's actually a rare and pretty temporary exception to the rule. So look, the point of all this isn't to predict exactly when the next crisis is coming. Nobody knows that. The real question is for you, right now. Take a hard look at the things you own, your assets, and ask yourself a really simple but powerful question. Are they on the list of things that financial advisors call safe today? Or are they on the list of things that have been proven safe for 4,000 years? Because history is very clear. When the music stops, that's the only thing that's going to matter.